Hey guys, it's me Simo Orahara, and in this video we're gonna talk about a bankai that I always used to put on the list of useless bankai. But this time I want to stay away from the typical way of looking at it, and also at its owner. I'm talking here about Soifon's bankai, Jakuhō Raikōben. Because in the end, guys, no matter how much negative talk there is about its bankai, and I myself used to criticize its weaknesses, it is still a bankai that is unique. The better description we can give it, it's a very rare case. A bankai that made many people think maybe Soifon has a true bankai hidden, like what happened with Renji and Toshiro. So in this video, guys, we're going to discuss why does Soifon's bankai take that form? What are its true abilities? And could it change in the future? But before we start, guys, don't forget to support the video by hitting the like button and leave your great comments that makes the comment section rich with unique ideas about the story of Bleach. And for those who want to support me, you can join the channel membership, support me on Patreon, or send your support through thanks donation or PayPal. And thank you guys so much. Now guys, if we look carefully at most of the bankai in the story, we'll see that they're not really that different from their Shikai, the first release of Zanpakuto. And this is actually true, guys, for the elemental Zanpakuto. Ryujin Jakka is a fire type Zanpakuto. It already has many techniques at the Shikai level, and when it becomes bankai, it still keeps the essence of fire. The old man's Ryatsu shaping into flames remains the core of its abilities. The same goes for Daigo and Hyurimaru. Toshiro is one of those characters who can use almost the same technique in both Shikai and Bankai, like when he fought Hannibal with Tencho Jirin. Even outside elemental types, we see this pattern everywhere. Renji's Shikai has abilities that prepare the ground for his Bankai. Zaraki's Shikai and Bankai both share the same essence, cutting power. So usually, there is no big contradiction between Shikai and Bankai. That's why Jakuhō Raikōben is such a unique case. It's completely different from her Shikai, which makes us ask the question, why? And I think to answer these, guys, we need to split it into two parts: what her Shikai represents and what her Bankai represents. Her Shikai represents the environment she grew up in, the combat life she trained for. Her Bankai represents the core of her soul, the inner side of her true self. Maybe even things about her personality she herself doesn't fully realize. That's why, guys, we'll go deeper into each side so we can get the full picture. With that being said, guys, I want to bring in something Kubo himself once said about Shikai and Bankai, and it's very important information. He said at the Shikai level, a Shinigami fights using their own power. At the Bankai level, what appears is the true spirit of the Zanpakuto, the very essence of the Shinigami's soul. Bankai is sometimes called the true blade, and that's why when the Wanderreich first invaded the Soul Society, what they stole the spirit of the Zanpakuto. Because of that, the Shinigami couldn't summon their Bankai, but they were able to use their Shikai powers. We have seen characters like Toshiro still fighting with Shikai abilities, even after his Bankai was stolen. So guys, let's keep that in mind, and now let's go back to Soifon. So Soifon comes from the Fon family, a noble family but a low-ranked one, and since ancient times this family was known as assassins. And actually, guys, in Soul Society this is common. Every noble family usually has a special trait or field. For example, the Adashiro family were known for mastery of Kido and swordsmanship. The Kyoraku family had a long history with martial arts. The Nanao family came from monks, and so on. As for the Fon family, their identity, history, and tradition revolve around assassination. As Soifon herself once said, the destiny of every Fon is to work in that unit. That's why Soifon, or by her real name Shaorin Fon, was given her path in life from childhood. And when she was standing as a child watching Lady Shohin procession, the words she heard were clear: "You will be the arms and legs of the princess. You will serve her for life." And so that became the heavy burden placed on Soifon from the very beginning. And it wasn't easy. She was the youngest among her siblings. All of her brothers died in the first missions with Yomitsukido, leaving her the only one who managed to survive and keep walking this path. And this burden she carried didn't affect her negatively at first. In fact, it motivated her. The moment she saw Yoruichi, she became deeply attached to her. Her feelings went beyond admiration. Yoruichi became everything she wanted to be. It even turned into worship, and that's how strong her devotion was. and this attachment pushed Soifon to train harder to sharpen her skills. The unit required speed, stealth and precision in assassination, and flexibility in combat, and these qualities were already in her blood as a Fon, but they were perfected under Yoruichi's guidance, and so naturally her strength appeared in the name and nature of her Zanpakuto, and also in her Shikai, and the Zanpakuto's name is Suzumebachi, which literally means hornet, and just like a hornet, it symbolizes speed, agility, and deadly stings. So the meaning of her Zanpakuto's name is clear in her Shikai. The blade becomes like a needle, just like a hornet stinger. If her enemy is struck twice in the same spot, that's the end for them. And if we take Kubo's words about Shikai into account, as I said guys a while, it makes sense that Soifon's strength, which she built up for her training in assassination and secret missions, is reflected perfectly in her Shikai. It fits everything she learned, but when we talk about her Bankai, that's something completely different. And to understand it guys, we need to start with one key fact. Even if it was never directly shown, it's obvious. Soifon must have achieved her Bankai after Yoruichi left. In her flashbacks we saw her using her Zanpakuto on missions with Yoruichi, but she didn't have a Bankai back then. She only had her Shikai. So imagine guys Soifon trying to achieve her Bankai while carrying that emotional shock of Yoruichi's departure, the person she worshipped, the one she devoted her whole life to serve, the person she was supposed to be the arms and legs for, suddenly gone. No doubt, the weight that once motivated her to be stronger for Yoruichi, when combined with the pain of being abandoned, turned into overwhelming anger and frustration. And I believe this is one of the main reasons her Bankai took the form it did. Its size, its heaviness, and its destructive power are just reflections for her inner feelings, her suppressed emotion, and her fiery rage. Even the name shows this. Her Zanpakuto's Shikai is called Suzumebachi, hornet. For the Bankai, Kubo used the same kanji but with a different reading, Jakuhō. Then he added Raiko, meaning thunder or thunder god, and Ben, which can mean wipe or cannon. So the hornet in her Shikai is small, fast and precise, but in Bankai the hornet reveals its true form, massive, heavy and destructive. But in the end guys, we could see right away that Soifon didn't really like her Bankai. She didn't want to fight with it. When she battled Baragan, she wished she could end the fight without ever using it, because it goes against everything the Umitsukido stands for. Even Omaida himself was shocked, wondering how his captain could fight with such a weapon. That's why guys, maybe Soifon has come to accept her Bankai for what it is. Maybe she understands what it represents for her and why it took that shape. Or maybe she still doesn't fully accept it. What matters guys is that she can develop her Bankai further in the future. I'm not saying she will get a completely new Bankai or true Bankai like Renji or Toshiro, but she could reach a level like Byakuya with Cinnamon Sakura or Yamamoto with Ryujin Jakka, where she evolves her Bankai and unlocks new abilities. We already saw signs of this when she fought Baragan. She used her Bankai twice in the same battle, which means she's gone beyond the supposed 3 days limit, and so with more training, she might be able to take it even further. In the end guys, what do you think about Soifon's Bankai? Can we see a different Bankai or maybe new abilities of Jakuhō Raikōben? Tell me guys your opinions in the comments and see you in my next video.